You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Yeah, so we're just about to jump in, so I'll give you all little intros and we'll get going. Pardon me. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, theys and gays. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host Hunter here. Happy, what will it be? Probably Saturday by the time you hear this. So happy Saturday to y'all. Hope you're safe. Hope you're well. I'm really, really excited to have the cast of Under the Burning Sun. Thank you so much, y'all, for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to go ahead and start with you. As the writer and the director of this movie, um, what was your like, what is your writing process? Like, because I watched this with my coffee this morning. I didn't watch a trailer or anything. I went in cold and, what a way to start my day. This,
I
but
know it's not a typical morning movie. I know,
not at all.
not at all. Yeah, sorry. I should have warned you.
But I'm so appreciative though of the swings that you took in this movie. There is a line about God that you have in here that I actually had to pause the movie and just go, "Oh, I've made this point before, and I've had people be very unhappy with me." I don't want to spoil the line, but when people get there, they'll know. Can you talk to me about writing that line in particular? Because that's a hell of a statement that you make, and that's pretty early on in the film.
Oh, without spoil that line and talking about how do I wrote it.
Okay, I realized as I was saying, I realized the irony. So, okay, screw it.
Okay, I think it's okay.
Yeah, we
In
can
the
talk about it.
trailer, so it's okay to spoil that, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. It's in the trailer. Okay, I feel better then. So, yeah, you make the point about, God making Mary pregnant without her permission, which yeah, very accurate point. But that's a thing that people seem to gloss over and just not bring up. But you bring that to the forefront, and that's so important in the story you're telling. Um, why did you decide to approach it like that?
Okay. So first of all, I don't have any problem with God or any religious person, not at all. Yeah, that's my point. But the reason why I brought it up was because, in the world we build up, is in a dystopian world. It's not really like a real world. It's not happening in America. It's not happening in another country we know. It's basically imagination world. It's in like a um, dystopian future or something. So I was thinking about something that can represent a higher power, which it could be, in our real life, it could be the government, it could be the religion, it could be anything. It could be anything, any like people they have higher power, they want to have a saying over a women's body. It's like it feels like everyone else can have a saying over a women's body, but women we self. I think that's a concept. So even I know most of the Bible, a lot of even the government, most of the narrative is written by men. So I'm not blaming that they designed like this. Probably they didn't really think about that. They're like, oh, I'm writing this to offend women. I don't think so. But that's a patriarchy. So
Yeah,
without knowing it. And I guess you must have realized that in throughout the whole movie, we never showed the face of any of the male character.
yes, which I thought
So,
was
so to
yeah.
be honest, I feel like the patriarchy, the male dominant, is invisible. So yeah, I think that's the whole reason behind the line. Yeah, again, I don't have any problem with the religion or anything. I think it just represent a higher power that making choice for women.
That's actually one of the notes I have is that none of the men's faces appear. I thought that was such a powerful like statement without, like trusting your audience to go ahead and make that connection. Stephanie, to you real quick. I loved you in this movie. You broke my heart. multiple points. But I think I think you're fantastic in this. For you as an actress, what was the hardest scene in this to shoot?
Yeah, I feel like when I was reading the script, I was like, this is going to be really tough. Also, this was my first time acting.
Wait,
So
what? Like ever or
yes, yes. So I really owe so much of whatever I was able to bring to Yoon, to be honest. I think that she's a brilliant director. I think she's particularly brilliant in the way that she works with actors. I just am amazed by her, really. And I feel like, again, every scene was quite difficult, but throughout it, I felt one that I had her support as, a woman and a friend, but also I had so much trust in her with her vision and her knowing what she wants, and just really feeling like trust with her at every turn. So yeah, I don't know if that answers the question,
no, it
but
does.
yeah.
I will say the scene where there's a scene where you have a wrench, and that scene just I was not ready for how you shot that, by the way, which was um who and then like the way that you were like there's this point where you fall over on the car and just this wail you let out. I was like that was like burned into my brain.
Mm.
Like that I was not ready for that. So like both of you just props on that. Um SK, to throw it to you real quick. When
Mm.
you read the script, like what was your first like I mean I would imagine as you're reading the script you're like yes, like I yes, I want to be in this. But talk to me about your character and getting to that mindset because your character is really interesting in terms of like the journey they go on as well.
hmm Yeah, I mean, reading the script, of course, I thought it was brilliant. I knew I had to be a part of it. And then meeting Yoon and Jara, our producer, for the first time, and just hearing Yoon where the film was coming from, and Yoon laying out this beautiful story of like where her inspiration came from. I got so excited. That was in our second round of auditions. She shared that, and uh, it was just so powerful. And obviously, the characters incredibly layered and complex, a lot of trauma going on there. And I knew that I just had something to give to Mavis, my character. So um I mean it's such an important it was just very important for me to give voice to obviously women and anyone going through domestic violence. And uh it does break my heart that I don't want to give any spoilers, but
Of
some of
course,
it
yeah.
does break my heart. But to give that voice and give those moments to my character, those moments of such beauty, while also there's so much grief going on as well. To be able to bring that to life, and with Stephanie, who is such an incredible scene partner, and Yoon, of course, who's such an incredible director, to be able to really have the space to live through those moments. Uh, it was very powerful for me, in the filming of it. So, um, yeah, I hope that answers your question.
No, it does. I have a question I'll have the three of you answer, and SK, I'll start with you. Do you have a ritual, as far as getting to the headspace to perform these scenes?
Um, do we? I,
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
I guess for them, I would ask from the acting perspective. For you, and I would ask from like the writing and directing perspective, because like I know myself, I need to have like I usually need to get like a walk in or like have a coffee or like something to like get my brain kind of going before I sit down and record. So do you have a certain ritual that you have to maybe get into the headspace to write or to direct?
okay. I think this one is very different from the rest of my work. most of the time I starting to get the ideas. I write down some of the like small points, and I starting to like have like a rough idea in my mind, and I have the bones, and I put down the flesh, the blood. But the born of this one is very, very special for me. I don't know why, but it just feels so different. So this idea born from the moment when I attending my mom at her late stage of Alzheimer, and she passed last year. But so like during her last days, I was taking care of her. So she basically lost every ability to taking care of herself. She cannot go bathroom. She cannot do anything. So I'm basically clean up for her almost every day. Then the I see that every day, but I don't know why that moment, that day, I see the long scar on her stomach. That was a scar from like 15 years ago when she did the removal surgery of her uterus, the hysterectomy.
Mhm.
Um, and I suddenly like remember the moment when she's about to took it off before the surgery, and she asked me, "It's like after the surgery, am I still a woman?"
Oh,
That question, to be honest, I was too young, and back then, I didn't really understand this question. And then people around, like surrounding, was like kind of telling her that it's okay. You're not giving birth to another baby. You don't need it. I doesn't know. I didn't know what does it mean, I guess. Of course I know, but I like deep inside, I feel like I don't know, or maybe I'm just scared of that question. So I'm
yeah.
kind of following everyone. I said the same thing to her. Yeah, it's okay. You don't need it. It's not essential, and take it off. It won't hurt anything. You are not giving birth to another baby. And I'm saying that, repeating the same thing. And when the moment I saw that scar and I suddenly remember the moment, I felt so regret. I feel like my
Mm.
mom want to have a conversation with me, like between women, but I didn't get it. And when the
Oh.
moment I realized and want to have a conversation with her, it was too late. She
Damn.
already cannot talk. She's like back to a baby. She's just not available. But I think so. I don't know why all of a sudden I got this idea, and after I clean her up, I sit down and I spend the whole night writing this story. Uh,
Wow.
I don't know. It's like just I feel like something just come over to me. It's not like I wrote it. I feel like someone told me to write a story.
Damn.
I know it's inspired by my mom, but I know the story doesn't look like a mom-daughter story at all.
No.
I know. I don't know why this story, but yeah, for particular this one, I don't have any ritual. This one is very, I don't know. I didn't expect it, but I don't know. Probably that was my mom. Probably my
Man.
mom
No,
to do it.
that's powerful as hell. Like, did you find it therapeutic writing the story? Like, once you were finished, like, did it provide maybe a little closure, in that sense, or?
Okay, so it's it's a weird question. I don't know if you guys feel this, but as a writer director, you really don't know when is the moment you finish it. Even now, I still don't know if did I finish. I haven't presented this to audience yet. A big part of film is audience.
Yeah.
So, I did a several cut. I finished the principal shooting is at the finish. I finished the first cut is at the finish. And I did so many times recutting. Even after I submit to Slam Dance, I'm still editing it. To be honest, I'm not so sure if and I replaced the link. I didn't even know they watched the old version or the new version. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know. So I don't really, it still feel very surreal. Like, is this finished? So I don't have that feeling.
That's fair. I'm one of those people who has to like not touch things after I'm done. I have to like pretend it doesn't exist because I'm finicky and I'm compulsive in that way. I'm like, oh, this can always be better, and I realize that's just a you're chasing something you'll never fully catch. Stephanie, for you, for this being your first acting role, which again, that is insane. That is your first acting role. How do I want to ask this? Was there was there a point where you felt overwhelmed um by any of the scenes? Because there's a scene where um the first scene where you actually go to the clinic and the guy just goes fuck off and just and just runs away and you're chasing after him. um that scene was giving me such anxiety because first off the fact you even had to run him down, I'm like, that alone, I'm like, fuck this guy. But the actual way you like threw yourself on the car, like that sense of desperation, like that was something that was so palpable and so intense. But as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, they're like the whole movie's intense, and you're just like you're constantly doing stuff that feels like it's almost um elevating the prior scene in terms of its intensity, um which that's a testament to the script obviously in the direction. But um yeah, was there any point where it felt a little overwhelming?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think that at the beginning of every day, I would feel very, I don't want to say intimidated, but I felt like a lot of anticipation just in terms of what I wanted to be able to give and what that would require of my body and what that would require of my mind. So yeah, I definitely think that there wasn't a single scene that wasn't challenging. And I can't say this enough. Again, I just having Yoon as a director, Stevie as a scene partner, and just an incredible, incredible producing team. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do this without them, just also from an emotional standpoint, because there's a lot of emotional demand for this role. What my character goes through is it's again, it's like you said, it's an onslaught. It's just one thing after the other. And so I think being able to bring that and bring the truth to that, I wouldn't have been able to do that if between filming I didn't have the support that I had and the minds and hearts that I had behind the scenes. Yeah.
Well said. I don't know how much time we have left, so I'm going to ask the last question now because I hate being rushed off of interviews. SK, I'm going to throw it to you for no pressure for the last question. Um, as a guy, this gave me promising young woman vibes, like Mad Max vibes in terms of the fact that this is such a women's issue and yet it's not being determined at all by women, which the amount of wrong that exists there, we don't even have enough time to get into.
Mm.
um what if you could provide a message for the audience once the credits roll, what would that message be? I know.
Wow. Well, I invite Yoon and Stephanie to chime in on this, because this is a very, very big question, and I'm trying not to tear up right now. There's so many messages, and I think maybe a huge one for me is just as a woman that I want to say personally, like, you are seen, we are here, and there's a great there is a great support that we women can give each other, which I think the way, like Stephanie has said many times throughout the filming process, it felt like that's what it felt like, this intimate, intricate connection that we all shared, production, Stephanie and I, and with Yoon, that it felt like we were being so held. And
Mm,
so that my message and my hope is that women can feel held within what we're having to navigate in our lives, on a daily basis. So, I mean, that for me was a huge takeaway from the whole entire experience. Uh, um, that has had a ripple effect in my life. So, I don't know if Steph or you want to chime in about how you feel about messages from the film. There's so many.
Yeah. Um, yeah, there were so many messages, and also I would prefer to phrase it as questions instead of message because
Okay.
there's no like a definite answer. I know it's a very feminist movie, but I'm not that kind of person. I would like to say the yell the slogan or be make it like literal. I think what you see in the end of the movie, and Mwanga holding the ice bucket with her uterus, and she walks into the death. You don't know where she's going, right? I think that's a message is like we don't know where the destination is, but I think is what is important is the journey.
Mm,
So maybe we could never have an answer, but let's ask the question. Let's talk about it. Don't be afraid of those questions. There are so many issues, there are so many questions, and let's talk about them. And I think especially it's not I don't want to make this thing within the women community. We could never First of all, I don't hate men. I don't hate men. I started dating like in my fifth grade, dating with boys. But and plus we could never have this without those boys behind us. They helped so much making this happen. And a lot of them they talked with me. I still can remember one of my crew, he said that, you know what, I'm so grateful you bring me to this journey. Now I understand my mom so much better.
mm.
I think that's a goal. That's a message. Let's talk about it. Let's understand it. And if there's no answer, let's keep asking questions. Yeah, I think that's a thing I want to say about the movie.
Beautifully said. Stephanie?
Yeah, I think for me, and again, it's difficult because there's so much complexity in it, but I think that one thing that I really hope audiences can take from it um, is for women, and that there is, and I feel like it's hard for me to say this without it sounding trite, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart that every woman has a power inside of her that cannot be taken away,
Mm,
despite everyone, the conditions in that world and in this world of trying to disempower women. Just really want it to be a reminder of the power that is inside of our bodies, inside of our DNA that cannot be taken away.
beautifully said. And I will say as a man, I will take the stance and say, men, y'all need to actually listen when women are talking. Um, um and actually listen and be cognizant and actually, don't jump to, well, not all men, like actually listen, because you can't learn when you're talking and you're not actually hearing people.
Mm.
um so with that said, the three of you, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for giving yourselves part of yourselves to this film, because I know it's you always leave a part of yourself with your art, and you three should truly be commended for being willing to put yourselves out there like that. If you could please let us know where people can see this film, if you have socials, before I let the three of you go, please.
Yeah. So like first of all, we have two screenings on Slam Dance Film Festival. One is 1:30 on 22nd Saturday, and the other, I think that one sold out. But we have yeah, sold out.
Oh
But
yeah.
the premiere, yeah, and we have another on 24th, 3:30 p.m. At Slam Dance Festival. You guys can check it out. And I think after this, we do still have several virtual screenings on Slam Dance, the website. But if you want to know a little more about it, and we actually have a blog. One of our producers, he wrote a blog during while we filming it, and now we're posting it in on our. It's not a website, but it's built on our production company called Narval Films, Narval. So you can check out on Instagram and also Narval Films website. You can see all the information over there. Yeah, and there's so much fun like behind the scene. Yeah, you guys should check it out.
Perfect. And then oh my gosh, what I totally lost. Damn it, I lost my train of thought. Never mind, it's fine. I'm
Let's start the day with a movie like this.
right. I know, man. My brain, like, I know. I'm just losing over here. Again, seriously, the three of you, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I can't wait for people to see this. I hope you three are safe. I hope you're all well. And again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Take care.